I was talking a little bit about your path to leadership is a very entrepreneurial one. While you weren't the founder of the firm, today you're the owner and CEO. I'd love to hear a little bit more about that in your story to getting Nichols and Company where it is.
Sure. Well, unlike a lot of firms who are led, small firms who are led by people who left very large firms to go out on their own, I was born and raised in this small environment. But I really think that's a little bit to our benefit
Yeah.
because things like fixed fee pricing, really focusing on your specialty and being willing to differentiate yourself by staying true to what has made you successful and really pulling in people to help you grow and continue that trajectory. I think has really contributed to our success. Plus people,
Yeah.
hiring great people who align with what we're trying to do, who value being at a small firm, who value working close to where they live in the community. It has helped us with hiring and managing growth and retaining good people.
Well, and Gwen, I hear a lot about that, right? Being people oriented and really being accommodating, but getting to know you the last 4 or 5 years, there's nobody more authentic that I've met than you when it comes to really putting words to action in your mouth. Maybe talk a little bit about how, becoming CEO. Is that something you always thought you were going to be? And, how did you eventually end up being there at Nichols and Company?
So, I became a part owner of the firm after about 10 years. And, at that time, I didn't know I had no idea what I was doing. Like I said, I'm the hillbilly accountant born and raised in this tiny little practice. But definitely I'm a forward thinking person and we had excellent leaders that needed to be developed.
Yeah.
And I had a business partner who, was of a certain age, really comfortable in their role. And we got to a point where we needed to shake it up, like for us to really be able to develop the people and the processes and the systems and the leadership opportunities that we would need to be successful long term. We had to get everybody absolutely on the same page. So, ultimately, our founder chose to leave. He needed to either leave or retire, and so he chose to leave. And I looked to my two younger partners and said, "All right, guys, you're the men of the house now. Take it away." And they did. They did. And as our firm grew, we figured it out as we went along. And you know, we've always invested heavily in paraprofessionals and administrative support and giving people the opportunity to come for a second career, be part-time at the front desk, develop into tax preparers, develop into leading communications and marketing initiatives. So we're always looking for people to come in, get started, bring their gifts, and grow with us.
Something that you kind of mentioned is, and I don't, to be able to recognize this, excellent leaders that need to be developed. That was such a core focus of what you wanted to do in growing this firm. And I don't think everybody sometimes don't recognize what it takes to obviously get to that point to be able to empower the organization to do that. What was one of your biggest challenges in getting there?
Well, I have no problem pushing baby birds out of the nest. So for me, absolutely no challenge.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it created a lot of challenges for other
Yeah.
other people, right? Not everybody is comfortable with that management strategy. So for me, it's really been about giving other people, the time and space to say, wow, we need to work on this type of training, right? We
Yeah.
need to make sure people are getting these kinds of experiences. And, a couple of us could handle that at first. But as our business grows, to really be intentional about that, we not only have to talk about it more, but we have to we're all thinking about the same kinds of things that help develop people and giving people the opportunity with clients. And, to me, the key word is always delegate.
Yeah.
How do you learn how to delegate? I like to say that first we all have to be working at our highest level of ability at all times in any business, but especially in a small business. And number two, that you can't get promoted till you train your replacement.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, both of those things are key, especially as a small firm is focused on, hiring good talent coming out of school. Our message to these kids is that you can craft your own path with us. We want to help you grow and we will work with you personally to help you develop.
And it sounds like you've got this nice process or program in place for when people want to be leaders and need to learn how to delegate and want to learn what that journey is going to look like. You're really there to help them kind of, on that path. That's
Mhm.
I think a big role you play at your firm.
It is a big role, and what's interesting is that until recently, we were trying to advertise for positions like everybody else,
Right.
right? And not being a large firm and not coming from a large firm, the hierarchical roles, your staff, your senior staff, your man, you're this, you're that. You've got five layers of roles within a firm.
Yeah.
you know, we're a small firm. We help small businesses. We don't need to be more than two accountants deep on anything, right? So there's no place to hide in these layers of roles. And so really what finally helped us get some traction with our advertising was really calling it an entrepreneurial accounting role. Because we want people who really see the connection between who they are, what they're doing, and that client who needs served.
So I'd love to keep going down this path. And before we got on this call, looked at
Mhm.
LinkedIn, saw some of the content you're posting. I've noticed a few social posts in regards to this whole industry-wide staff shortage and an approach that might be a little bit, different, if you will. And one's focused on sole practitioners. The other was kind of focused on the entrepreneurial accountant, which you just kind of started highlighting a little bit. Love to learn a little bit more about that focus on the sole practitioner conversation